Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here to discuss a discussion that has already began within the Tennessee Titans community. Pretty much happened starting last Friday night as soon as the Tennessee Titans drafted quarterback Will Levis out of Kentucky. The conversations began. Should he start week one, year one, week 8? What should be the plan here? Should they trade Tannehill already? And I had some initial thoughts on that, but I really wanted to expound even more so than my initial reaction in somewhat shock to whenever the Titans drafted Will Levis. And I wasn't totally shocked because I was one of the few people saying, you might want to look out for this. This might be something that you might want to look out for. So I wasn't too shocked, but some people were very, very, very shocked. Now, here is what I honestly believe. Okay? And look, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to front. I'm not. I easily could come on here and act as if I love the pick, as if my mind changed in loving the pick and loving Will Levis and being optimistic about Will Levis. I'm not going to lie. I still don't like the pick. I would have been much happier going into next year, quarterback less, tanking a little bit. I'm sorry. That's what I still believe. And maybe getting Caleb Williams or Drake May or whatever quarterback next year, because to me, they're all better than Will Levis, or at least like the ones that are likely to go in the first round, except for Quinn Ewers. He still has to develop a little bit. But I still like Williams, May, Penix Jr., Ewers. We'll see if he develops. Bo Nix, not really. KJ Jefferson, potentially. I just wanted to roll the dice next year. However, what I have to admit is now people are being unfair to Will Levis. I actually have to go ahead and admit this. There are people saying, just start in week one. And the reason they're saying this is because, well, you have to figure out what you have. You have to figure out what you have before next year. And the truth is, that's not fair. And I'm not a big fair guy. But it's really unfair. Because, let me tell you this. I actually believe this. If the Titans would have traded up for C.J. Stroud, and Stroud didn't start week one, I feel like people would have been fine with that. I feel like people would have been like, oh, it's fine. Like, as long as he plays like halfway through the year or something at least, because, he should get the experience. Because you are more convinced that Stroud is a long-term quarterback than Will Levis. As you should be. But it's unfair for you now, because you don't like Levis, to throw him to the dogs for him to fail. He should be put in a position to succeed. Now, that's not me saying he has to have the longest leash in the world. That's not me saying, oh, well, it's already over. He should be starting in 2024 no matter what. But he should still be given the opportunity to succeed. When the Chiefs traded up for Patrick freaking Mahomes, their fans did not complain that he didn't play. And we'll never really know how Mahomes would have played his rookie year. He still might have been great, or maybe he would have struggled. Maybe he needed to sit for a year to truly be ready. Maybe not. I don't know. I think the answer is somewhere in the middle, and that he would have thrown a decent amount of picks. I think he still would have ended up being an MVP. I don't think it would have crushed him or anything. But he definitely would not have been the MVP that he was the year later, or, the next year. So people didn't have a problem with that. People didn't have much of a problem with Deshaun Watson, who was picked 12th overall in that same draft class, being benched for the first couple of weeks. People didn't have a problem with Trubisky. But no, Levis has to start. No, he doesn't. He shouldn't. Until he's ready, he should never start, really. In my opinion, he's a second-round pick. If he's never ready, never play him. I don't care. Garoppolo never played for the Patriots. They don't care. Well, I guess he played like 2 games whenever Brady was hurt before Garoppolo got hurt because that's what he does. That's his move to get hurt. So even though I don't believe in Levis long-term, even though I don't believe in short-term, the smart play and the safe play and the better play is for Tannehill to start week 1. It is. And that's what they're going to do. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and spoil. Unless if Will Levis comes in here and just goes crazy and they feel so confident they can start week 1, Ryan Tannehill starting week 1, and that should be the move. If we drafted literally any other quarterback in this draft except for maybe Bryce Young, everyone would be fine with that move. Everyone would agree, yes, Tannehill should start for the first couple weeks. But it's because it's Will Levis, and because you don't like him and you don't like the pick, you want to throw him out there to fail. You just want him to throw him out there and let him just fail already. Screw it. That's not fair. And look, the best case scenario is he's better than all of us think he is. He goes in there, he succeeds, and he's able to prove that he is that franchise guy. And we don't have to spend another pick on a quarterback because we spent a third on Willis last year. We traded up for Levis, so you spent a second and a third on Levis. The best case scenario is he goes out there and he kills it, and we don't have to worry about this again. That's the best case scenario. Now, is that scenario going to happen? In my opinion, I don't think so. I think, again, he could be a franchise quarterback. I don't think he's ever going to be top 5 and definitively a guy that I feel is going to lead us more than the team leads him. And I don't definitively believe he's ever going to be better than a Derek Carr at best. I mean, Phillip Rivers, if he really hits his ceiling, that's what I believe, and I'm just going to stick by that. And that's best case scenario, guys. Worst case scenario, or let me say middle case scenario, you're looking at Daniel Jones, you're looking at, a middling guy that you're going to overpay, and then you're certainly not going to win with. And then worst case scenario, he just, is a flat out bust like a Jake Locker, and we can just move on, and then that's it. A little blimp in the radar, and that's it. All the scenarios are on the table. But to maximize his potential, the move is to start Tannehill week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, until Levis shows that he's ready to start. Until we start 0-3 or 0-4 or 1-4 or 2-5, then what do? You throw in the rookie because the season's basically ending up over anyway. Now he's ready. They did the same thing with Patrick freaking Mahomes, for God's sake. And Chiefs fans didn't complain. But we want to sit here and complain. And Chiefs fans, they could argue, I don't know if this is true, but, they could argue that, well, if we would have started Mahomes as rookie year, we might have another Super Bowl. I don't think that's true, but they can believe that all they want. I don't believe that. But still, despite all that, Andy Reid and those intelligent Chiefs that, hey, they won 2 Super Bowls in the last, 4 seasons or 3? 4 seasons. And have been to 3. That's what they did. So I don't know why we should do different than what they did. That's the move. You don't start the rookie when he's not ready. You can do it in like a Bryce Young situation or even Stroud because the backups are awful. So you might as well. But if the backup is better and he's a veteran, then just play the better veteran. But Bryce Young is going to start over Andy Dalton because he's better. CJ Stroud is going to start over Davis Mills because he's better. Will Levis should not start over Ryan Tannehill because he's not better. Until he shows that he's better, no, he shouldn't be starting for our team. And if the argument is to tank, well, then you shouldn't have taken him. You should have taken someone else and you should have tanked. But you took him. So now you have to put him in the best position to succeed. I mean, this is basically a first-round pick. It's high second round, but it's basically a first-round pick, and you invested that. So you got to get something out of the return, or what are we doing? Why are we just throwing draft picks at the wall and not even wanting them to set them up for success? Doesn't make any sense. So despite how much people out there don't want him to succeed, still, to me, and even the argument that, again, if you throw him out there earlier, he can develop more. I mean, again, did the Chiefs do that with Mahomes? No. So why? Did they do that with Watson? Did a little bit after I think 3 or 4 weeks in of starting. I think it was Lawrence started immediately, and how well did that go? Um, Zach Wilson, how well did that go? And did he start immediately? Actually, Zach Wilson, I can't remember last year. It's how disastrous the Jets were and how meaningless they are to me. Um, yeah, so you can do it if they're ready. Mac Jones did it, but if they're not ready, don't do it. That's what like there's no point to me other than if someone really wants to take the money and no one does to trade Tannehill. No one, and let's just stop it. I mean, can everyone shut up? I'm telling you right now, this is the only scenario Tannehill gets traded. It's week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. Whenever Brock Purdy, gets hurt again, or Trey Lance gets hurt again, and the 49ers get desperate. Or for the Falcons, when Desmond Ridder gets hurt and the Falcons are desperate. Or it's whenever Sam Howell gets hurt for the Commanders and they're desperate. Then and only then can you trade Tannehill. And even then, you're going to have to take a lot of his contract and salary because those teams at that point will have no salary cap anyway. So you're just doing it to save their season. Until then, Tannehill's not getting traded, guys. I don't know where this is coming from other than just hopeful nonsense. I mean, I guess that's what it is. It's not happening. Tannehill's not getting traded. If he was going to get traded, it was going to be way early in the offseason, like January, February, March. For the last month, the discussions, a month and a half, of Tannehill getting traded are ridiculous, and now beyond the NFL draft, they were just meaningless. They're just crazy, nonsensical discussions. So it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I'm of the belief that Levis should not start week 1 unless if he just kills it in camp, and there's no way. There's no way. The only thing he's going to do in camp that's going to look better than Tannehill, he's not even faster than, okay, maybe now he's faster than Tannehill. Okay, at the advanced age of 34, Levis is faster than Tannehill. Tannehill ran about a 40 coming out of college. Now, Levis didn't run the 40. Levis would not have ran the 4.58 that Tannehill run. Now, I'm sure now Tannehill runs like a 4.7, maybe a 4.8. So, okay, maybe now Levis is faster. And, okay, he's going to have a stronger arm, so he's going to make some more woo throws in camp. But he's going to make a lot of mistakes as he gets to learn the offense and everything. And, look, he seems confident right now. He's come in. He's done the job that he needs to do. So, and look, and we're going to revisit this on a week-to-week basis. Look, I was one of the first ones to say, I don't care if we move on from Malik Willis. He can't play. He stinks. I was one of the first ones to say this on this platform, on any platform. People wanted to just hold out and wait and see what he does. And great, good for you. I didn't care. I could tell. And whenever with Levis, if he's out there, I can tell, I'll say the same thing. And if we need to move on in 2024, we'll move on in 2024. But as far as I'm concerned, this is not going to be a very good football team this year, guys. And I'm just being straight up honest with you. So by necessity, Levis is going to be out there. By midseason, I think we're going to be 2-6, 3-5, and we're going to say F it. I mean, when Mariota was 2-4, and when he wasn't even 2-4 yet, it was in the middle of that 6th game. We said F it, Tannehill. So if it really starts to go poorly, don't worry. He's going to be thrown out there, and you're going to get to see plenty of Will Levis. But the idea of just starting him week 1, just to start him week 1, just so we can get 17 games out of him is not fair. It's just not fair to this rookie quarterback. Look, you invested. I didn't ask you to do it, but that's what you did. Now, if you throw him out there after 6 games and he plays 11 games and he still stinks, then fine. You can move on in 2024. I don't care. I'm going to encourage them to move on in 2024. But he should still be allowed to put in the best position to succeed, because I'd rather him do this. I'd rather him, because those first couple of games could just be awful. And then now you're looking at his statistics and like Kenny Pickett. You look at Kenny Pickett's stats last year, he had like 8 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, but you forget his first game, he had 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and that skews his whole statistics for the whole year. It was just, and he was a game where he was just throwing the ball up, trying to make plays. It ruined his statistics for the entire year. So Levis, you could easily have one of his first few games be one of those games that he just trying to do too much way too early in the season because he's not ready, and you shouldn't have started him because he wasn't ready. So he just blows up his statistics, and that blows up the entire evaluation because maybe the last 5 or 6 weeks he played well, but we're still looking at the statistics from the first couple weeks, which again was not fair for him. So it just doesn't make sense. Bite the bullet. Just keep Tannehill for now. Let him start, and then whenever the time is right, move on to Malik Willis. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on why Will Levis. See, we have too many young quarterbacks. Those are my thoughts on why Will Levis should not start week 1. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, I'm out. See you all later.